Hi, my name is Mike Osberg, and I'm with the Eastern Nebraska Office on Aging, the Caregiver Support Program. And I'd like to visit with you just a few minutes about caregivers and their need for support, assistance, and respite. I say need because we have found that if caregivers are doing 24/7 type of caregiving with the person they're taking care of, and they don't get the regular breaks that they need, the respite, it can endanger their health, literally. So I'd like to mention that caregiving as we know it, of course, can be a joyful, pleasant kind of thing to do, but also, as most caregivers know, it can be very tiring and stressful. So where do you go to find this kind of help and assistance? Well, the simple answer is help may be closer than you think. But the biggest hurdle right now is sometimes just asking for help. So I'd like to use this analogy. When I was in high school, and looking at the color of my hair right now, you can see that was a long time ago. And by the way, our camera guy is laughing right now about this, so he agrees that it was a while ago. But when I was in high school, if you went out for either basketball or football, you also had to go out for track. And that's because our high school was pretty small, and that's the only number of people that we had was you had to go out for those different events. So I was put in the position of having to jump hurdles. Not my choice. That was the coach's decision. And I'll never forget the first day out on the track field, down on the track field, looking forward to that hurdle and thinking to myself, I've never seen anything that tall before. And his idea was, well, you're tall, you should be able to jump over that. And I remember being on the line ready to go and all these thoughts that went through my head. What if I stumble? What if my foot catches on the top of the hurdle? What if people are laughing? What if I don't make it? What if the coach decides this was really a big mistake? And then I took off. And that big hurdle, as daunting as it was, once I jumped over it, the other ones seemed easier to do. I'm not saying I didn't fall over sometimes, but they were a lot easier once I jumped over that first hurdle. I think this applies to caregivers sometimes as well. The first hurdle that sometimes caregivers need to look at, take a chance at, jump over, is simply just asking for help. So where do you turn for getting the kind of help that you need as a caregiver? Well, as I said, help may be sooner and closer than you think. Because some of the questions that might be going through your mind in crossing that first hurdle as a caregiver before you ask for or accept help are these kinds of questions. Like, what if the person I ask to help can't do it as good as I can? What if they really aren't comfortable taking care of the person that I'm caring for and don't like or feel comfortable doing hands-on care? What if they have a life that's full of work and they have their own children to take care of? Things like that. What do they do and what do I do if they want to help, but I don't know what to tell them to do? We have found that most people like to be helpful. And if you show appreciation to them, they are going to go a long way in offering you the help that you want and need. Maybe it's somebody in your family. Now this is where it gets tricky because sometimes family members aren't there maybe as much as they could be, and the temptation is for you to think or even to say, well, where have you been all this time? It's about time you asked for offered to do some help. Well, don't put them on the defensive. That's not going to help things any. You can find things for them to do and to express appreciation for their offer to help. Now, this can be more than just family members. It can be people that you know as neighbors, as friends, maybe members of the religious community that you belong to. Maybe you know them through some other way. Some of them may even say to you, what can I do to help? How can I help you? And there's the point where you need to have a list ahead of time of things that they can do. things that don't involve necessarily them, taking direct care of the person that you're caring for, but offering to help in other ways. So for example, you might say, could you maybe mow the lawn for me 1 week this summer? Could you perhaps shovel snow 1 day this winter, if we get any snow? Could you run to the grocery store and pick up some groceries for me? I'll pay the bill. Could you maybe help by doing the laundry 1 day? Things like that. Could they bring dinner one evening? Not everybody is comfortable with hands-on caregiving. That's okay. There are lots of other things that they can do. So when they ask, be prepared. They really do want to help. Come up with some things that would really give you a break from the caregiving that you're doing all this time. Well, finally, those are the informal ways to get some respite help, but there are formal ways too. For example, the Caregiver Support Program here at the Office on Aging offers assistance and help, providing respite to caregivers who need it and want it the most. We stand ready to help you find that support and that respite. Our number is on the website where you found this video. Well, thanks for listening, and thank you for the work you do and the love that you provide for the one that you're taking care of. And don't forget, take care of yourself too. You deserve it. Thank you.